News 1030 is brought to you by Jagadamba Steel, Deshko Merudanda, Encel, Jagadamba Cement, Century Bank, Saral Banking, Sabaika Lagi, Real Burst Litchi, the new Ace Mahindra XUV 500. May your life be full of stories. Nepal Top Sub Tic Tac, Midas E-Class.
Good evening. Welcome to News 1030. This is Rasna Paudel. Let's begin with the headlines. Top leaders of the major parties decide to hold the constitution drafting process until Sunday. Lawmakers from different political parties urge hesitating groups to join talks to end current political unrest. At least 6 people, including 1 policeman, lost lives in violence in Dhanusa and NEWS24. Serena Williams to continue her semi-final on Friday as game was postponed with heavy rain forecast. And court in Mumbai fined 12 men guilty for their roles in the 2006 bombings of commuter trains.
प्राकृतिक विपत्तिले निम्त्याएको अकल्पनीय क्षति र भौतिक संरचनाहरूको जीर्ण अवस्था यो सबै देखेपछि अब सिमेन्ट छनौट प्रक्रियाबारे गहिरिएर सोच्नुपर्ने अवस्था आएको छ। त्यसैले रोजौं यस्तो सिमेन्ट जसले आफ्नो मजबुत भरोसा एवं अदम्य साहसद्वारा तपाईको हरेक निर्माणलाई गुणस्तरीयताको प्रमाण स्वरूप प्रस्तुत गर्दछ। हाईटेक ओपीसी सिमेन्ट, हरेक निर्माण गुणस्तरीयताको प्रमाण।
अब रेड बुल क्याश पुलको पुल अफरिङमा नगद पुरस्कार अझ धेरैलाई रु 1000, 2000, 5000, 10000, 20000 र 1 लाख।
अब रेड बुलमा क्याश जित्ने अझै धेरै चान्स।
रेड बुल, the one and only energy drink.
Presenting LG refrigerators with world's first ever cool technology that retains cooling for 7 hours during long power cuts.
Wow!
And now also save up to 36% energy with a new smart inverter compressor.
Real School of Nepal. Real School of Nepal 2015 अन्तर्गत मध्यमाञ्चलमा हुने रिजनल फाइनल्स को लागि सेप्टेम्बर 1 देखि 14 तारिक सम्म महानगरी काठमाडौँ आउँदैछौ। रियल स्कुल अफ नेपाल, जिन्दगी रमाउँछ, फ्रुट पावरले जिताउँछ।
Kelvinator, the coolest one. Kelvinator, the coolest one.
गर्मीमा सबै हुन चाहन्छन् refreshed and chilled. Refresh with apple juice. Real burst apple, light and refreshing.
स्वागत छ तपाईहरुलाई जगदम्बाको देशमा।
विशाल हिमालयको देश मेरो, ज्योतिको दीप बल्दा लाग्छ राम्रो। उत्साह छ, उमङ्ग छ, विकास छ, उन्नति छ, प्रगति छ मेरो आफ्नै देशको। मेरो देश मेरो जगदम्बा,
यही नै त हो जगदम्बाको देश। मेरो जगदम्बा सिमेन्ट।
आरती प्रिमियम चामल प्रस्तुत गर्दछ हात खाली नहुने नगद स्क्रैच कुपनहरू। प्रत्येक बोरा भित्र राखिएका कुपन स्क्रैच गरी रु 40 देखि रु 1000 सम्म नगद प्राप्त गर्नुहोस्। आरती स्क्रैच एन्ड विन धमाका। आरती प्रिमियम चामल, शुभारम्भ शुभ दिनको।
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. The top leaders of the major three parties have decided to hold the constitution drafting process until Sunday. Vice Chairman of the Unified Maoist, Narayan Kazi Shrestha, informed about the decision while exiting the meeting venue at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar. He said that the parties decided to hold the process until 11 a.m. on Sunday in order to hold dialogues on the demands made by the agitating Madhya Tharu-centric parties, other disgruntled forces and other parties that have boycotted the constitution drafting process. Likewise, Vice Chairman of CPN UML Bhim Rawal said that the top parties decided that this is the last opportunity for the agitating parties to sit for dialogues. In addition, he added that the three parties unanimously agreed to begin the voting process at the CA on Sunday. Lawmakers from different political parties have urged the hesitating groups to join talks to end the current political unrest and promulgate the constitution. Expressing their views on the amended bills of the Constitution of Nepal 2015 on Friday's Constituent Assembly meeting, they say that the constitution should be issued soon for the stability and prosperity of Nepal. Speaking in the meeting, Nepali Congress lawmaker Chandrakanta Bhandari urged the major parties' leaders not to halt the constitution writing process. Backing the amendment proposal floated recently by major parties, Tarini Datta urged the parties to try their final effort to bring the agitating parties on board the constitution-making process. Similarly, CPN UML lawmaker Bhim Prasad Acharya said that the constitution would be promulgated soon as per aspirations of the people, despite national and international forces beat to raise their heads to prevent the constitution from being promulgated and halting development in the country under various pretexts. The clause-wise deliberations on the revised Constitution Bill 2015 has been taking place since the chairperson of the Constitution Drafting Committee, Krishna Prasad Sitaula, proposed the deliberation on the same on August 7. At least 4 protesters have died in police firing in Janakpur during the demonstration against the proposed state demarcation in the federal state top on Friday. Around 20 protesters have been injured in the clash. Some of the protesters are said to be seriously injured. One, Nikhu Kumar Yadav, aged around 18, of Jamunia, and Sanjay Chaudhary, 35, of Kadam Chowk, Binod Saha, and Dilip Yadav died in after the clash with police. Sporadic clashes took place between the police and protesters after the latter defied the curfew order and staged demonstrations at various places. The local authority had clamped curfew in the district from 6 a.m. or Friday in view of the planned demonstration by the agitating Samyukta Lokatantrik Madhesi Morcha. Earlier, the Dhanusa district administration has clamped an indefinite curfew in Janakpur from 6 a.m. on Friday in view of Chalu Janakpur Bharu campaign called by Madhesi Morcha. A huge number of security personnel have been deployed in the main entry points and chokes of the city. The campaign is being organized to strengthen this track that has been underway since 25 days. Meanwhile, at least 2 protesters have been shot dead in police action at Jaleswar of Mohattari district on Friday afternoon. A violent clash had erupted between the security personnel and the cadres of United Democratic Madhesi Front at the district headquarters a couple of hours after an injured official of armed police force lynched by a mob at Bhagwanpur of the district. The deceased have been identified as 75-year-old Ganesh Chaudhary and Ramsila Devi Mandal. Chaudhary received bullet in his temple, whereas Mandal died on the spot after being hit by a bullet on her head. As many as 3 protesters were killed in police firing in Mohattari on Wednesday. An armed police force assistant sub-inspector Tharman Bahadur Biki, who was injured in a confrontation with the protesters and was on the way to receive medical treatment, was assassinated by a mob at Jaleswar, Mohattari on Friday. Injured Biki, who was being taken to Janakpur hospital for treatment, was pulled out of the ambulance and was beaten to death by the protester at Bhagwanpur near Mohattari VDC at Janakpur Jaleswar road section. The mob of protesters waited for the ambulance to pass by the way after being tipped off that BK was being transported on it. They took control of the ambulance, pulled BK out of the ambulance and dragged him some 300 meters into a paddy field where they rained batons upon him, leaving him dead. The ambulance driver and another individual who was with BK have gone out of contact after the incident. Police have recovered batons, bottles of beers from the site where BK was allegedly murdered. It's time for a short break. Please stay tuned.
एक मुट्ठी माटो मेरो धरतीको एक मुट्ठी सास मेरो प्रकृतिको एक मुट्ठी रगत मेरो देशको यही मुट्ठी हामी सबैको पहिचान पौरख नेपालीहरूको पहिचान पौरख नेपाली
मुट्ठी हो मजबुती हो अल्ट्रा सिमेन्ट मजबुती मात्र होइन पूर्ण मजबुती
यो हो वज्रशक्ति सिमेन्ट सशक्त र दिगो निर्माणको लागि नेपाल गुणस्तर चिन्ह प्राप्त वज्रशक्ति सिमेन्ट शक्ति र रक्षाको प्रतीक।
मिडास ई क्लासमा भिडियो हेर्दै गेम खेल्दै पढ्न पाए अरु के चाहियो र?
मिडास ई क्लासमा त मेरो किताबको सबै लेसनहरुको अडियो भिडियो छ अनि गेम पनि छ।
आजको युगमा मिडास ई क्लास प्रयोग नगरे त बच्चाहरु पछि परिहाल्छन् नि।
इन्कर्पोरेटेड
म राजेश हमार यस पटकको नाडा अटो शोमा गएर गाडीको सम्पूर्ण जानकारी सहित आफ्नो रोजाइको गाडी रोज्न जाँदैछु। के तपाईहरू पनि रोज्न आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ? यही मिति 2072 भाद्र 29 देखि असोज 3 गतेसम्म काठमाडौँको भृकुटी मण्डपमा हुन गइरहेको नेपालकै सर्वाधिक बृहत अटो शो नाडा अटो शोमा तपाईहरू पनि सहभागी हुनुहोस्।
चेकिङ सुरु गरौँ।
आया टेस्ट डन प्रितिमेश। MPA test done Pritimesh.
नेपाल अम्बुजाको महालक्ष्मी र दाउन्ने सिमेन्ट क्वालिटी चेक पलमा नो सम्झौता गुणस्तरमा।
हैन के गरेर बोलिङ गरे? राम्ररी बोलिङ गर्न सक्दैन थियो?
तैले पनि त राम्रोसँग क्याच गर्न सक्तिस् नि।
हे कति होला गर्नु भा के तपाईहरु?
तिमी एकछिन बाहिर जाऊ त। आजैसँग म कुरा गरेर छोड्छु।
हेर्न पनि दिनुहुन्न।
Crazy about cricket. Ruslan, 100% pure cricket.
Hey, how's the new house looking? Hello?
It's presenting the new Aspira from Royal. A paint technologically so advanced, it comes with a 5-year warranty and Teflon surface protector. Aspira from Royal. It's beyond words.
कता जानला? सडक बन्द छ।
त्यही त खोल्न जाँदैछु।
एउटा हात कतै छुटे सयौं हात जुट्छन् एउटा बाटो बन्द भए सयौं बाटो खुल्छन् निराशाको बादललाई चिर्नु छ हाँसेरै हरेक सपनालाई साच्नु छ हाँसेरै हामी सक्छौं अघि बढ्छौं कहिले नझुक्ने नेपाली फेरि उठ्छौं
He's gonna arrive off to the airport in multi-drive.
Multi-drive, multi-drive, multi-drive.
Been working all week from 9 to 9.
Let's take a road trip with multi-drive. Multi-drive.
All new Bolt with multi-drive. Get set, Bolt.
I want to tell you something about the paint I've been using in my new home. Technology and innovation with 5-year warranty and Teflon surface protector make Royal Aspira so beautiful that it's beyond words.
Welcome back. Let's continue with national updates now. District Administration Office Sunsari has declared various places in district as riot-hit area on Friday. The local administration issued the order and deployed Nepal Army personnel for patrolling after protesters wielded domestic weapons during demonstration this morning. A large number of Nepal Police, Armed Police Force and Nepal Army have been deployed in the area. The office informed that highway area from Kosi Barrack to Itahari and Buri Khola in Dubahi that has a border with Morang to Itahari has been declared riot-hit area and further informed that the stern security measures were being observed to prevent any untoward incident. Early on Thursday, the administration had issued prohibitory orders for the same areas from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. today. Hundreds of vehicles and passengers have been stranded along the highway due to the protest. Now 24 social development update. According to a joint report by United Nations and partner agencies, the number of people in Afghanistan resorting to selling land or turning to friends or family for help because of food insecurity has doubled in the last year. A report.
The 2015 Seasonal Food Security Assessment in Afghanistan, published by the country's Food Security and Agriculture Cluster, found that at the peak of the lean season, the number of Afghans facing severe food insecurity increased from 4.7% of the population 12 months ago to 5.9% today. This means more than 1.5 million people are now considered severely food insecure, an increase of more than 317,000. Another 7.3 million people, more than 1 in every 4 Afghans, are classed as moderately food insecure. Of greatest concern is the finding that the proportion of the severely food insecure people who have already exhausted their capacity to cope with these emergencies has increased, meaning many more are now forced to sell land, take children out of school to work, or depend on relatives for support. The SFSA report indicates that the number of people engaged in these last-ditch actions has doubled over the past year to more than 20% of food insecure people across the country. This will leave even more Afghan people significantly vulnerable to extreme poverty. Claudia Zibidar, representative and country director of the UN World Food Programme in Afghanistan, said when people resort to these measures, they have no resilience against future shocks. These figures are extremely alarming, especially in a country where more than 1/3 of all people are already food insecure. This report could portend a future spike in the next 12 months in the need for food and other humanitarian assistance. Although Afghan will produce slightly more wheat this year, a large number of poor and hungry people will not be able to purchase food from the market. It is a question of access to food rather than its production. Special attention needs to be given to female-headed households and displaced people to improve their access to and improvements of agricultural-based livelihoods. The report shows that female-headed households are almost 50% more likely to be severe food insecure than other households in Afghanistan, having a much poorer diet than their peers and much lower income. Women who hate their household are also twice as likely to use emergency coping strategies, such as begging. People displaced from their homes by conflicts or disasters, particularly those living in tents, also suffers from poor diets. Coast and Paktika provinces, which host over 35,000 displaced households, need immediate support to prevent food insecurity from worsening. FSAC, FAO, WFP and the government report that a lack of funding could exacerbate this problem even further. It is the last resort when farmers start selling productive assets such as livestock, machinery or land. This is not only a loss for farmers but for the entire community, as skills and means for agricultural production will be lost, saturating the urban labor market. It is striking to know that 1/3 of the Afghan population is food insecure and their situation continues to worsen. It is requested that the donor community to continue assisting the most vulnerable Afghans before it becomes too late.
Let's have a look at the business update now.
Business news in association with ICFC Finance Limited, your complete banking solution. LG Smart Refrigerator, NB Bank Limited, the bank for everyone.
The International Energy Agency has predicted U.S. oil output next year will see the steepest fall since 1992. U.S. oil production has increased to a record high in recent years as high prices made investment worthwhile. Prices halved over the past year as demand fell in line with slower economic growth. Meanwhile, OPEC producers, particularly Saudi Arabia, have maintained high levels of production. U.S. crude oil was trading at more than $90 a barrel a year ago, but now costs around $45. The UK's Brent crude has also halved in price from a year ago and is currently trading at about $48 a barrel. Techniques such as fracking have helped U.S. producers offset the falling oil price by lowering investment and production cost. Slowing economic demand and high production have created a glut of oil that outstrips the world's current needs. The IEA said the resulting lower oil prices would boost demand to a 5-year high this year, a trend that the IEA said would help OPEC countries. OPEC controls more than a third of the world's oil output. It typically cuts production when prices fall to attempt to push prices higher. Its recent strategy has been to keep the taps turned on fully in an attempt to curb U.S. output, which is uneconomical at lower prices. Time now for another short break. Do stay with us.
हे भगवान, मेरो घरलाई मजबुत बनाउनु। म तपाईको ठूलो मन्दिर बनाएर राख्छु घरमा।
आफूले जे पाए त्यही सिमेन्ट प्रयोग गर्ने अनि घरको जिम्मा हाम्रो।
यसो भए भगवान, म के गरौँ?
त्रिदेव पीपीसी सिमेन्ट, 3 विशेष कोरयुक्त शुद्ध नेपाली सिमेन्ट।
म राजेश हमाल यस पटकको नाडा अटो शोमा गएर गाडीको सम्पूर्ण जानकारी सहित आफ्नो रोजाइको गाडी रोज्न जाँदैछु। के तपाईहरु पनि रोज्न आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ? यही मिति 2072 भाद्र 29 देखि असोज 3 गतेसम्म काठमाडौँको प्रकृति मण्डपमा हुन गइरहेको नेपालकै सर्वाधिक बृहत अटो शो नाडा अटो शोमा तपाईहरु पनि सहभागी हुनुहोस्।
टेक्नोलोजी सँगै हामी पनि अघि बढिरहेका छौं। हरेक कुरा डिजिटल भइरहेको छ भने टिभी हेर्ने तरिका किन सधैँ उस्तै त? त्यसैले त हामीले घरमा क्लियर टिभी जोडिसक्यौं।
धेरै एचडी च्यानलहरु सहित प्रष्ट टिभी हेराइको अनुभव लिनका लागि घर ल्याउनुहोस् क्लियर टिभी।
प्लिज प्लिज डिनर रेडी भइसक्यो, जाऊ न।
क्लियर टिभी।
नाउ मेरो सुपर एस, म छु धेरै कमाल।
काम गर्छु यसरी बनाउँछु सबलाई मालामाल। गल्ली होस् या गाउँ सहर घुम्यो, टाटा सुपर एस सबैलाई मन पर्यो।
टाटा सुपर एस, सिप्रदी ट्रेडिङ प्राली, थापाथली, काठमाडौँ।
Welcome back. Now some sports update.
Sports news in association with Red Bull, the one and only energy drink.
Serena Williams must wait until Friday to continue her pursuit of a calendar Grand Slam after the women's semi-finals at the US Open were postponed with heavy rain forecast. The matches will now take place at 11 a.m. local time on Friday. Williams will face Roberta Vinci after second seed Simona Halep meets Flavia Pennetta in the other last four match. The men's semi-finals will take place after the conclusion of the women's matches. Top seed Novak Djokovic faces defending champion Marin Cilic first, with second seed Roger Federer taking on his fellow Swiss Stan Wawrinka in the other match. The rainy conditions did not prevent the men's doubles semi-finals from going ahead as scheduled on Thursday. Great Britain's Dom Inglot and his partner Robert Lindstedt were beaten 7-5, 6-2 by French duo Nicolas Mahut and Pierre Hugues Herbert, but Jamie Murray and his Australian partner Joan Pierce won their semi-final later on. Murray and Pierce saved a match point to beat Americans Steve Johnson and Sam Querrey 6-4, 6-7, 7-6 and take their place in Saturday's final. World football scandal-plagued governing body FIFA has been warned by the U.S. prosecutor at the center of the investigation into its affair that its reform plans should not be superficial. Kelly T. Curry acting U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York, whose office indicated 9 football officials with close FIFA ties in May, said that it was monitoring changes at the organization closely. Curie said superficial changes at FIFA to its states will not be sufficient, and likewise mere changes or personnel in certain positions without a genuine commitment to good governance will not be sufficient. FIFA announced on Tuesday that Francois Carrad, former Director General of the International Olympic Committee, would head a new reform committee. Curie said that they have a great interest in seeing a successful reform process at FIFA. He said that without getting into any specifics, he could not say that reforms would be deep, substantial, and he hoped and believed that FIFA should put in place checks, balances, transparencies, and accountability that are appropriate for an organization of his size and influence. Time now for international updates. A court in India's western Mumbai city has found 12 men guilty for their roles in the 2006 bombings of commuter trains. The 12 men were accused of waging war against the nation, conspiracy and murder. One man was acquitted. The serial bombings on 11 July 2006 killed 189 people and injured more than 800. The attack was blamed on Islamic militants backed by Pakistan, an allegation that Pakistan has denied. Sentencing is expected to be pronounced on Monday after Judge Yatin D. Sindhe hears arguments from the prosecutors and defense lawyers. The guilty face the death penalty or life in prison. During the attack, 7 blasts ripped through trains in the evening rush hour. The bombs were packed into 7 pressure cookers and had put in bags. The coordinate explosions were detonated within 15 minutes of each other. The blasts took place in the areas of Matunga Khar, Mahim, Jageshwari, Borivali and Mira Road, with most in moving trains and 2 at stations. The bombs appear to have targeted first-class compartments as commuters were returning home from the city's financial district. More than 200 witnesses were examined during the 8-year-long trial, which concluded in August last year. U.S. official has said there is a growing belief within the U.S. government that the Islamic State militant group is making and using crude chemical weapons in Iraq and Syria. The U.S. has identified at least 4 occasions on both sides of the Iraq-Syria border where IS has used mustard agents. The officials say the chemical was being used in powder form. The U.S. believes that group has a cell dedicated to building these weapons. The officials say that the mustard agent was probably being used in powder form and packed into traditional explosives like mortar rounds. When these weapons explode, the mustard-laced dust blisters those who are exposed to it. The term mustard gas is commonly used to describe the agent, but it is liquid at ambient temperature. Let's take a look at the weather update now. And that was weather update. Before we wrap up, headlines once again. Top leaders of the major parties decide to halt the constitution drafting process until Sunday. Lawmakers from different political parties urge agitating groups to join talks to end current political unrest. At least 6 people, including 1 policeman, lost lives in violence in Dhanusa and Mahathiri. Serena Williams to continue her semi-final on Friday as game was postponed with heavy rain forecast. And court in Mumbai fined 12 men guilty for their roles in the 2006 bombings of commuter trains. And that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you for watching news. Good night. Namaste.